Have you ever looked at another artist's work and thought that you can just tell that it's theirs because their style is instantly recognisable, and just wish that you could have your own distinctive style as well? Well, it's not actually as hard as you think. In this video, I'm going to talk you through exactly how you can develop your own art style that is unique to you. Hi, I'm Rachel, welcome to my channel. If you're new here, I'm an artist who creates cute and colourful animal paintings, and over the last few years I have developed my own art style to make all of my designs consistent. I'm not a fan of speaking with my face to the camera, so instead I will explain how to find your art style while showing some time lapses of my creative process. A lot of people think that your art style is just something that automatically comes when you paint, but even though that might be true for some people, for lots of us we actually have to plan and figure out our style. Having a distinctive and consistent style is really important for artists. It's great for branding, and having recognisable art will help you to get more clients. If you find yourself stuck and not knowing exactly what your art style is, then just follow these 3 simple steps in this video. The first step is to look for inspiration. Look at other artists' work and save images that stand out to you. Anytime you see a piece of art that you love, save it into a folder on your phone or to a Pinterest board, then have a look at the whole album and see if there's anything that ties all of the pieces together. Maybe you've chosen a lot of art with really bright colours, maybe they all have muted tones, maybe you've chosen all photorealistic pieces. Grab a notebook and write down all of the similarities that you find, then make another list and write down anything specific that you really love about any of the paintings. Maybe you really love the thick brush strokes, or maybe you love that it's in an abstract style, or that it has really high contrast. Whatever it is that you really love, write that down. Now you'll have a list of everything that you personally love in a painting, and all of the qualities that you think makes a painting great. This list is completely unique to you, someone else's list may look completely different, and that's the beauty of it. That is why having your own art style is so great, because it's yours. Then have a look at your current work and compare it to your list. Is there anything on the list that you aren't applying to your art? For example, I used to try to paint photorealistic pieces. I'd try really hard to get the colours right and to try and paint every detail of the fur, and I always hated my art. So I sat down and I looked at the art that I love and what draws me in, and I realised that I'm not even drawn to that style of painting, and the art that caught my eye were more colourful pieces with thick brush strokes, texture and more of a loose style. Once I realised this, my painting style changed forever. The next step is to experiment. Experiment with different mediums, brush strokes, colours, composition and anything else that you can think of. Remember, the best thing about art is that there are no rules, and if anyone tries to make you think that there is a certain way to do something, they're wrong. Some people use only palette knives to paint, some people use their fingers, some people only work in oils or acrylics or watercolour, others create mixed media pieces with loads of different mediums. Grab a blank canvas or paper or wood or whatever you prefer to work on. Get up your folder of the pieces of art that you love. Keep your list nearby so that you can remind yourself of everything that you want to try, and just start creating. Don't put any pressure on yourself. No one ever even has to see what you make. This project is all about figuring out what you enjoy to make, which process gets you the results that you want. For example, if you love thick texture in paintings, then you could try to experiment with heavy body mediums. Or if you love tiny details, then you could experiment with different types of fine detail brushes. Don't worry if you try something and realise that you don't like it. This is actually a good thing because it helps to narrow down your style. Keep experimenting and narrowing everything down until you realise what you not only love to look at, but also what you love doing. While you're experimenting, you can even try copying other people's art. Obviously not to sell or to make money from, and definitely don't try to pass them off as your own, but just to see the differences between your art and theirs. Compare your piece to theirs and note down how you have done things differently to them. Maybe they used muted colours and yours were much brighter, or maybe they used lots of straight lines and yours appear to flow smoother. Noticing these differences and how you painted something in a different way to another artist will help to give you more of an idea of your own style of painting. You will realise that you already create in a certain way, and emphasising these differences will help towards getting your own unique and recognisable style. The third step is to make decisions. Decide on subject, composition, colour, mediums and materials. Even though you can paint whatever you want, however you want, the key to getting a recognisable and unique style is to narrow everything down and really figure out your niche. Do you want to paint only landscapes, or animals, or portraits? Do you want to paint really close-up cropped images, or have the subject at a distance? Do you want your art to be bright and colourful, or black and white, or muted tones? Do you want to paint in watercolours, or oils, or acrylics, or pencils, or do you want to make mixed media pieces? Do you want to paint with brushes or knives or your hands or sponges or something else? You don't have to stick with every option that you choose. Once you have your style, you will be able to transfer it to different subjects and mediums, but narrowing down these options will give you a really solid idea of your own personal style. For example, I almost always paint animals with a close-up composition of their face. I always use really bright coloured paints with high contrast between the shadows and highlights. I use acrylics and I mostly use paintbrushes to create my art. These aren't rules that you need to stick to 100%. For example, I sometimes use palette knives, sponges and my hands instead of a paintbrush, but knowing the answers to these decisions has really helped me to have a solid idea of my own art style, and it will definitely help you too. One more bonus tip is to get other people to look at your art and ask them to describe it. We're often way too connected to our art to be able to see it from an outside perspective, and getting someone else to describe it to us can be really beneficial. They are much more likely to notice little things that we do in our paintings that we are not even aware of, and these little things are what separates us from other artists. Once you're aware of these details, you can then emphasise them, which will help to make your style even more distinctive. I remember the first time I took my animal paintings to a gallery, and the gallery owner mentioned that they had an innocence to them. At the time I was confused because in my head I thought I was creating really bold and striking pieces of art, but then when I looked at my art as a whole, I saw exactly what she meant. There is an innocence to my paintings. They aren't necessarily bold and striking, they're actually quite cute. And I really love that about them. Knowing and understanding this really helped me to refine my style, because I now work from more fitting reference photos. I would make the animal have a cuter expression on their face. I would choose my colour palette to emphasise the playfulness and feelings of nostalgia. So asking other people for an outside perspective on your art and the connections that they draw between your pieces can be really beneficial. Once you have completed all of these steps, you will now have your very own art style. The best thing to do now is just practice. Make as much art as you can in your own style, and you will find that over time you will naturally start creating in this style without even having to think about it. You should start to notice a consistency between all of your pieces, and your art will definitely be more recognisable. I hope you found this video helpful, and don't forget to subscribe for more videos like this.